Judy is a nice woman, but she's not very sophisticated. When I mean not sophisticated, I'm not talking about in beauty, everything. She's got all that. This is what she's not cunning. She's not street smart. If she had told you, we're not going to do anything until you divorce me, you would have divorced me like this. It was that Judy said, no, I don't want to be blamed for her to lose her husband. It's not necessary now. Instead, marry two of us. Judy was trying in a very naive way to avoid being selfish. A more cunning, sophisticated, calculative woman would have said, I'll marry you, but I need you to get a divorce certificate. You would have done that.
Barrister Emeka, the one-time barrister to May Edochie, the first wife of Yul Edochie. I will say the first wife because they are still legally married. This barrister came to a podcast and said so many things against May Edochie. In fact, the barrister made us to understand that he has been there since the beginning of the issue. And if you could remember, there was a time May Edochie sued this barrister after, they broke up because of one or two legal issues. Now, the striking thing that this barrister said is that May Edochie is older than Yul Edochie. And the marriage between these two occurred not based on love, but based on extramarital work record. Yes. According to him, he said that May and you, they were doing work record back then when you was 22 years and May was like 2 years older than you then. Then, as May, they give you a BG. In the process of giving you the ABG, you can't give them belly. Have you seen? You can't give them belly. Now, you never wanted the marriage, but because Mel's father is a close friend to Sapet Edochie, Yu's father, there is nothing they can do about it. They now force the marriage. They now force two of them to get married. Now, so Yul Edochie ended up getting married to someone he no love because of pregnancy. So definitely, it's because of that pregnancy that made you to marry May. Now, on the other side of it, you married her because of the pregnancy. They do kokoreko, give her belly. At the age of 22, which means May was 24 years then, 2 years older than you. Now, I could remember vividly in a podcast, one podcast, you explained that the issue he always have with May is centered on disrespectfulness. That men know they respect them. And according to you, then, you also say that the marriage has already been broken for long. And this barrister Emeka confirmed it that their marriage had been broken for long, even 6 years before Judy Austin became pregnant. He said that Judy Austin never had a hand in what happened in you and Mel's marriage, that the marriage has already been broken for years. There was no peace. In fact, that you had to leave the family and started living in Enugu. Yes, in the pretense of shooting movies for years. You left them and went to Enugu to live, claiming that he's shooting movies. Yes, he was shooting movies. But anyway, let me not say much about this. Let's first of all listen to this barrister and hear what he said.
Yul married May when he was 22. and May was a couple of years or more older, we believe that it wasn't a planned marriage. Nobody plans to marry at 22, because at that time, you are still getting every penny you spend from your parents. What we believe was you got May pregnant, but refused to marry her. But May happened to be the daughter of a friend of Yul's father. And Yul's father wouldn't have it. You can't do this to my friend's daughter. You must marry her. The marriage was pressured. Of course, sometimes such marriages will go well, everything will be all right. But you will see potential seed for eventual conflict in this marriage.
And you mentioned earlier that this marriage was fractured for about 6 years before Judy came into the picture.
Before she became pregnant.
Before she became pregnant. Do you think that Yul was driven away from that marriage because of the toxicity of
there were tensions,
emotional abuse,
there were
disrespect, according to, Yul usually put it like that, the disrespect and all sorts of, stuff like that.
I am going to avoid being very specific for obvious reasons, but yes, their marriage must have been tension-ridden with tension, problems, apathy, separation, disharmony that we are not repaired. Yes, every marriage goes through a cycle: harmony, disharmony, and repair. So, their own case, the repair was not working. And he began to detach himself from the family, spending a lot of time in Enugu. And his apparent excuse was that he was shooting movies in Enugu. But in fact, he was avoiding his family.
Okay. Now, you have heard it from him. But I'm not trying to cite or believe what this barrister said. But if you look at it critically, based on what this man said, forget about how Yul and Judy met each other. Forget about Judy's marriage, ex-husband. If you look at both of them, you will see true love. You will see that Yul is having the peace of mind when you know the girl before. And Judy is also having the peace of mind when you know the girl before. There is no way you will just see a single mother of two and decided to marry her just like that. You will be say, my big boy, my big artist, girls, they follow him everywhere. Everywhere. But Odogu don't test marriage. He don't get experience. He don't see what in there, and he knows what he's looking for. And he saw that thing in Judy Austin. That's why, despite all the girls, all the single girls that Yul would have chosen, he went to settle with Judy Austin. That speaks a lot. It's not just an ordinary thing. I saw true love between them. So I think it's high time we let them be, because Yul and Judy, they have found love between themselves and they are happily together. They are together, having their kids, having rest of mind. Yes, sometimes there must be issues. That is it. But the most important thing, you saw what he did not see, what he couldn't get from May. He saw it from Judy. That's why he decided to settle down with her. And the same thing with Judy. Judy saw what? And if you look at the way Judy is collecting, is holding you tight, you understand that these two, they have found something that had been missing in their previous marriages. That's why everything is moving well for them. I'm not, as I said earlier, I'm not trying to say that what this barrister said is true or false, but I saw some truths. But we have to be very, very careful when it comes to marital affairs, because when there is a divorce, it's always the woman that will receive the sympathy. Without people, if you don't dig well to find out the truth, sometimes the women, the wife is the cause of everything. But because they are always the weaker side, they will always present themselves as if, you know, they are being hurt so that people will sympathize with them. We have to think well. All these things this barrister said is not just what he wanted to say. I think no smoke without fire.